I'm Randy and I make candy, and tonight I'm making peppermint patties. Stick around. Greetings, my confectionery compadres, and welcome to Randy Makes Candy, where I help you make tasty treats that people love to eat. Tonight's recipe is at the request of our compadres Mo and Kirsten. Peppermint patties are just a classic candy, and they're as simple to make as they are tasty. I do love peppermint and chocolate, so I'm not sure why it's taken over 2 years to get to them, but here we are. If you stick around after the recipe, I'll share a fun fact about a certain peppermint patty company whose name rhymes with fork, and we'll do a little quality assurance testing. Not only that, but I'll give you an update about the channel. As always, I'd love to hear about your results if you decide to make your own peppermint patties, as well as suggestions for other recipes you'd like to see in future videos. For this recipe, I'm using 3/4 cup of sweetened condensed milk, 1½ teaspoons of peppermint extract, 4 cups of powdered sugar, and 1½ cups of chocolate. I'm also using a mixer, a spatula, a cutting board, and some parchment paper. Okay, let's make some candy. In a mixing bowl, add the sweetened condensed milk, peppermint extract, and powdered sugar. Mix until it forms a dough. I started out by forming the dough into balls, then flattening them into discs. And this is probably the easiest way to do it, but I didn't really like the way they were turning out, so I flattened the dough with a roller and then cut out the discs. I couldn't find the right size cookie cutter, so I used a jar lid that was the right size. Temper the chocolate, then dip a patty into the chocolate, let the excess drain, and place it onto the lined cutting board. Again, I switched horses midstream during this process. The heated chocolate was making the patties a little floppy and hard to work with, so I stuck the remaining undipped patties into the freezer for about 10 minutes, which made the dipping process much easier. Once all of the patties are dipped, let them rest on the counter until the chocolate is set. And that's it. Okay, let's have a taste. Slancheva. That is one of the best things I've made here in the Candy Kitchen. There's nothing about this that I don't like. The textures, the flavors. This is the perfect peppermint patty. Thanks again to Mo and Kirsten for the suggestion. And I'm sure you won't be surprised to hear me say that you really ought to try these. According to Penn State University's History of Candy, yeah, that's a thing, the York Cone Company was bought by the Peter Paul Company in 1972. 3 years later, the York Peppermint Patty was nationally launched. Up until then, chocolate-covered peppermint was not very popular. The peppermint was always mushy and soft. But a fellow named Henry Kessler was able to figure out how to prevent the peppermint center from becoming gooey. His peppermint was always firm and crisp. In fact, a patty from each batch would be tested, and if it didn't split evenly in the center when broken in half, the batch was not sent out to be sold to consumers. Shall we give one of our patties the York test? I think we shall. Would you look at that? Well, compadres, today is a milestone for RMC. Just a few hours ago, this happened. It's not a huge number compared to a lot of the channels out there, but I don't care. It's a big deal to me. I'm not going to go all Sally Field on you, but this tells me that you see some value in what I'm doing, and that's really the only reason I'm here. I can't thank you enough for your support, compadres, and the only way I can think to express my gratitude is to keep showing up here every week, at least until I run out of candy. If you enjoyed your time here in the Candy Kitchen, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for sticking around, and I hope you'll join me next time. Tonight's recipe is Peppermint patties are just a classic candy, and they're as simple as, oh man. The batch was not sent out to be sold to